here. Thank you for joining me for this Pilates Mat class. Today we are going to be using weights to help us with resistance and load in finding a deeper connection with our body positions and our movement through space in the Pilates exercises. Today I am working with some 1 pound ankle weights. I also have a set of 3 pound weights for some exercises, which I prefer the 3 pound weights for to really help me find the placements of my shoulder blades down my back and a true connection underneath my arms. And I also have the 2 pound balls, which I prefer for some exercises where my arms are out in front of me a little further, so I don't creep up into my neck and start to feel it in my trapezius. So, to begin, we're going to go ahead and come down to lying on our backs. Your choice, whatever weights you would like, but please have some lighter weights and some heavier weights for class. We're going to come with our feet flat in front of us, our knees bent, sitting straight up on our sits bones, have our weights down, and our hands on either side, tuck our tail, and articulate back. We're just going to have our hands gently resting on the weights to begin. We're going to feel the connection of the mat under our feet. We're going to bend our knees enough to be able to find a nice, flat, heavy sacrum. So, the sacrum, the back of the sacrum is from the backs of the hips and the tailbone. In a little triangle, we'd like to really flatten that on the mat. Really find a nice, supported space there. I have a slight lift in my low back from my upper hip bones to the top of my sacrum, down all the way down to my 12th rib on the back. I really want to feel the anchoring of that 12th rib on my back, so that I'm really drawing my ribs together on the front as well. I'm not imprinting my spine, but I do feel a nice wrap and connection through my ribs. While all 12 ribs are on, my shoulder blades are nice and flat in the mat. My shoulders are up, back, and down. I have a nice long neck, a soft sternum. Again, don't flare your ribs. And I'm going to inhale and exhale and find the connection of my lower abdominals, drawing my abdominals down towards my spine internally. From there, I'm going to squeeze my legs together, still maintaining that nice neutral body position. This is not going to change. But what I am going to do is I'm going to use my breath and the sinking of my lower abdominals to float my legs up just a little bit. So the first thing that we're going to do is not necessarily lift our foot off the mat, but feel it becoming light through the connection in our lower abdominals. So I don't want to feel this in my quads or my hip flexors. I really want to feel it in my lower abdominals. If at any time, as we progress the exercise, you start to feel it in either of these 2 areas, please go ahead and go back to the previous exercise to reconnect with your lower abdominals. I'm going to inhale. And as I exhale, I'm going to sink my abdominals first. Connect my leg to my abdominals and make my left leg light on the mat. My foot's not actually leaving the mat. I'm finding a connection through my right leg. I'm really feeling it in the back of my right leg as my low abdominals float my leg up. I'm going to rest my foot down. Exhale, ground strongly through my sacrum and make my right foot light. Again, I'm feeling it down through the back of my left leg and my glute very strongly as well. I'm not allowing the backs of my hips to shift on the mat. And release. Left leg again, sink your abdominals, wrap your ribs. Nothing up here in your shoulders is moving at all. Nice, long, relaxed area. I'm really feeling it from right at my sternum down. Really wrapping my ribs, really feeling it through the backs of my body. Really feeling in my core. Float my right foot. Good job, guys. And release. One more time to each side. Really float that foot off. It's a little higher this time than when I first started. Good. And final one on the right. Shake out your neck if you need to. If you're feeling a little tense, release. And we're going to inhale, exhale. Make your left foot light. Continuing with that abdominal connection, float your leg up to tabletop and float your right arm up to tabletop. Opposite leg, opposite hand. Inhale to lower everything down with control. Section up your shoulder blade on the back so that your shoulder doesn't reach off the mat. And as you exhale, make your right foot light and float your left arm up to tabletop. You still have that nice connection in the back of your sacrum so that you're not rocking from side to side. Wrap the ribs, drawing on your lower abdominals. Feel the wrap of your deep abdominals. And inhale to lower. Squeeze under your arm to reach your arm long and float it up with your leg. When you're working from your abdominals, you can tell because your leg won't just shoot up into the air. It'll move slowly with purpose, like you're pulling it through Jello. Inhale. One more time to each side. And pull. Not moving anything from your hips all the way through the tip top of your head, actually. Unless it's your arm, right? And lower the inhale. Final marching. Nice deep exhale. Good job. From there, we're going to be doing some footwork. Now normally your footwork would come to a lower level. That's with the weights on your ankles. You're going to lift your feet higher to the ceiling so that you don't rock forward in your tailbone, lifting up, releasing out of your sacrum and getting into your low back. So when you lift your legs higher, you're gonna really find that deep lower abdominal connection, really find that rib wrap and work at a higher level, meaning that your toes are going to be closer to the ceiling than to the mat where they might normally be for this exercise. So we're gonna float one leg up to tabletop. We're gonna float the other leg up to tabletop. I'm gonna have my feet in tabletop. I'm pointing both my feet. I'm going to bring my hands up. They're going to be, if I drop my balls down, they're going to be right at the bottom tip of my sternum, where my sternum and my 12th rib meet. I'm going to press them up from there. So they're not going to be right over my shoulders or over my head. They're going to be dropped down, whoop, right over that sternum, right? So from there, I'm going to inhale, press my legs out to working level, squeeze my glutes, squeeze my inner thighs, opening up my arms to hug a tree. Don't just rest your arms on the mat. Hover them off slightly, making them light like we just our feet. Exhale, pull everything back together. Inhale. Exhale. And squeeze it out, pressing out strong. Really ground your sacrum the whole time. If you're doing it properly, you're really gonna start to feel it, right? It's not so much a leg exercise. It's a different sort of exercise on your core because you've added load to your core. You can really feel your sacrum pressing into the mat with the extra weight on your legs, reaching up towards the ceiling. We are not lifting up into curl up for this. We do have the extra weight, so it is more difficult. From there, I'm going to separate my hands so they're right over my shoulders. I'm going to flex my feet. As I press my feet out, I'm going to bend my arms to 90 degrees. So the balls are floating right over my head area. Exhale to pull back. Again, make sure that you're floating your feet up a little higher. And you're taking the load away from your body at your head and at your tail. It is going to make the move more difficult. Squeezing our legs together. Squeezing our inner feet, the inner sections of our feet together. Make sure that you're really wrapping your ribs, drawing your shoulders away. Squeeze under your arms to stay out of your neck. 2 more. On this next one, stay out. Hold your arms. Now, press through to the balls of your feet and point your feet. Pull your toes back, pull your feet back. We're articulating through our feet. Keep it going. So press out to the balls, toes are pulled back, and then point your toes. Now pull your toes back. Now pull your feet back to flexed. Good. If you feel like you're starting to rock forward on your tailbone, bring your feet feet up closer to the ceiling. You can bring them all the way to your sit, but make sure you're not tucking your tail here. Make sure that you're still nice and heavy in your sacrum. Good. One more. And pull it in and extend your arms. Now come into a frog. Drop your arms towards your knees, about 3 to 4 inches. Squeeze under your arms, really straighten out. Through the arms, really reaching the energy away from you while you flatten your shoulder blades on the mat. Now, my toes are pulled back, my feet are pointed. So it's as if I'm standing on the balls of my feet on the mat. I'm going to press out, tap my elbows to the mat, squeezing my inner thighs, and press it back out, away from me slightly. So my forearms are right over my knees. As I press out, straightening my legs, squeeze my inner thighs, my elbows touch the mat, and I extend and tap. And it's more like an elbow tap. Good. Don't allow your abdominals to get away from you. Good. Keep it going. And one more. From there, we're going to bring our legs down to the mat. Place your arms down for a moment. Separate your feet a little bit wider than hip width. And go ahead and windshield wiper your hips or your knees from side to side. Allowing one hip to rock gently off the mat if you're able to. From there, we're going to walk our feet back together. One foot up to tabletop, other foot up to tabletop. Hands reaching up out of your sternum. Inhale, exhale to curl up. Reach your arms up over your knees right now. So you're really squeezing it underneath your armpits. We don't want to use our necks to pull our arms back up. So we're just going to float back up. So no matter what, they're going to maintain this space coming out of our sternum. And lower it back down. We're just really going to use the balls to really get a connection underneath our underarms. Now remember in class I mentioned that we were anchoring through our 12th, the bottom back of our 12th rib? That's what we're doing right here. We're really making sure that we anchor through here, taking the tension out of our neck on the curl ups. When you curl up, make sure that you have enough space between your chin and your chest for an egg. So if you crack your chin to your chest, your ankle will crack. If you bring your chin too far away, your ankle will roll away and crack again. We want to make sure that we're maintaining a non-broken egg, I guess. Inhale, exhale to curl up. Great. While we're here, we're going to extend our right leg and bring our left leg, arm straight up to the ceiling, and pull it back. So our arms coming back out of our sternum. Now extend your left leg, right arm up. Pull it back, coming out of the sternum, and extend. Curl up a little deeper. Don't crunch your chin to your chest. Opposite arm, opposite leg. Squeeze under your arm. Shake out your neck. One more to each side. Good. We're not coming, rest your head, your shoulders, rest your feet and arms. We're not coming past, then straight up to the ceiling, because it's going to put too much load on our neck and pull up into there, and we don't want to work that part of our body. We don't want to strain that part with the extra weight in a curl position. Feet back up to tabletop, arms straight up out of your sternum. Inhale, exhale to curl up. Now we're going to press both legs out to the working level. Again, we're going to bring our feet up a little higher to maintain a heavy sacrum. Bring our arms straight up to the ceiling. Exhale, pull it back. So it's coming straight up out of our sternum again. The balls are, or our weights are, and our legs are back in tabletop. Inhale, extend. Exhale, pull back. Adding on. When we extend, we're going to extend our legs out in parallel. Then we're going to turn them out to Pilates V. Pull them back to parallel and pull everything back in. So extend in parallel, Pilates V. Parallel and pull. Parallel, Pilates V. Parallel, pull. Pilates V. Let's do one more. Parallel and press. Turn out to Pilates V. Back to parallel and come back in. Rest your head, neck, and shoulders. Rest your legs and arms. Whew, good Good job, guys. So from there, we're going to bring both feet to tabletop. I'm going to take my weights and rest them on my legs. So this is going to create even more tension on my quads and my hip flexors, but I really want to come to a tabletop position and support it from my lower abdominals. If it's too much, take your weights off. Float your arms up out of your sternum. Inhale, exhale to curl up. Dropping your hands to your hips. We're going to do the hundreds from here. You can feel the weight really weighing down on your sacrum. So we're going to inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. Good. Really crease up over the sternum. Don't crunch your chin to your chest. And anchor in through that 12th rib. Inhale. And exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Final 1, 3, 4, 5. Rest your head, neck, and shoulders. Safely grab your weights so that they don't fall into your face and break your nose, right? Hopefully so, yes? Lifting our legs straight into the ceiling, we're going to do scissors. If you come into scissors and you automatically tuck, go ahead and find that heavy sacrum. The weights on your legs will help. Weigh your sacrum down from the back, so both hip bones through your tailbone. That's really what we're going for today. We are going to curl up for this, but if any time you find it hurts your head, neck, and shoulders, please rest them. When we do scissors, we are going to make our scissor half as wide as we normally would, because we do have the added load on our ankles, so it is going to be more difficult to come back up without popping into our hip flexors or quads. Balls coming up out of your sternum, or weights. Inhale, exhale to curl up. Now, flipping your palms up to the ceiling, bending your arms gently, extend the weights away from you, helping you to curl even further, using the weight to help you out. So we're going to extend our left leg away, and exhale and switch reciprocally with our right leg, and switch on the exhale. Inhale, and exhale to switch. Roll your shoulders up, back, and down. Curl up even deeper without tucking your tailbone. Good. 2 more to each side. Use more lower abdominal. Rest your hands, your feet up to the ceiling. Lower down. Balls coming out of your sternum. Now without resting, we're going to do a double leg lower lift with a twist. So we're going to extend our legs away from us. We're going to extend our arms past the direction right into the ceiling, but not to our ears. That'll be too heavy, our ribs will pop, right? So just a couple inches away. So drop 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch. Now lift up 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch. Ground in through the sacrum, wrap your ribs. Separate your hands so that you're able to suction cup your shoulder blades on the mat. Good, keep going. Way, 2, 3, and up. 2, 3. Now, if you're feeling at your hip flexors like I am, I'm going to turn my feet out by rotating the femur in the hip socket. Bring my feet into a wide diamond or a wide frog. I'm going to work from there. Back 1, 2, 3, and up. 2, 3, and away. Away from the center of the body. And lift. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and lift. 2, 3. Let's do one more. 1, 2, 3, and up. 2, 3. Hug your knees into your chest. Drop your weights if you'd like. Give yourself a nice, gentle rock from side to side. If I have any hip replacements, come to a 90-degree position. You can rock from there, holding onto the backs of your knees. Now, hold on. Inhale, exhale to curl up. We're going to do a curl back series. I'm going to separate my feet slightly. If at any time you feel your knees knocking in or going out wide to the side and you're unable to control it, we can use a squishy ball or a yoga block between our knees to help to control that. So, for the first exercise, I'm going to take my weights and rest them on my shoulders. Don't allow your ribs to flare when you do that. Draw them in so you're sitting straight up. Straight line through the tip top of your head, out through your tailbone. Inhale, exhale. Tuck your tail. We're not curling back, and we're not hinging back. We're just tucking our tail and coming up. Tuck your tail. And articulate up. Drawing our belly to our spine, and then we draw our ribs to our hips to come down. We feel a nice space between our low back vertebra. Good, guys. And up. And let's do one more. And coming up. From here, we're going to add movement or load to our curl back. So we're going to have our hands in front of us. Again, they're going to be coming out of our sternum. Not up here, so we're creeping into our neck. But we really want to feel a connection underneath our arms as if we're pressing down on our elbows onto a ball or a pole. In this center, I can squeeze my balls together, not by popping into my shoulders, but by squeezing under my arms and wrapping my ribs. From there, I'm going to inhale. Exhale to tuck my tail and curl back. I'm going to open my arms to hug a tree and squeeze them together. At no point do I want to be moving with my elbows down like this. I want to be wide and open, like a ballerina. Inhale to open. Take a look at your knees. Make sure they're not coming in on each other and they're not going out too far. They're a nice number 11. Your heels are right under your knees, and your knees are right in line with the backs of your sit bones or your hips. Let's do one more. Now articulate out. From there, we're going to do what's called Hagga Moon. Hagga Moon is where our elbows are dropped down to the bottom. It's not as much fun as it sounds like, though, not as comfortable. We're gonna start right here because it's a nice, comfortable position to start. I can really feel the wrap in my ribs here, really feel the squeeze in my underarms as I try to rest the weight in my hand. Inhale, exhale, curl back, drawing my ribs to my hips. Check on your knees, make sure they're not going in or out. I'm going to bring my hands up over my head, and I'm going to open up wide again, leaving my shoulders down my back the whole time. My arms are nice and bent, like I'm hugging the moon. Don't forget to keep breathing, guys. Shake out your legs if you need to. Shake out your neck. Good. I am still using my 2-pound weights here. I have not moved on to the 3 pounds. I find personally that for my body, when I use 3-pound weights and I'm working over my head or in a curl-up position, it bothers my neck. Good. Almost there. Let's do one more. Leaving your arms by your side, articulate up. Now, we're going to bring our arms out in front of us again in the hug a tree position, but our balls or our weights are never going to separate. So you can bring your knuckles together, your weights together. From there, we're going to inhale, exhale to curl back. Where our balls are right now coming out of our sternum is where they're going to come through and center. So I'm going to rotate my body to the left, dip my hands down and around, and come back through center. Rotate to the right, down, around, back through center. Now when I come down and around, my back hip is completely stable on the mat. I have not moved it at all. I'm not rotating it, and I'm trying not to move on my legs. It is more difficult with the weights. It should be made a little less difficult by the weights that we've added to our legs. These are figure 8 movements, but it's more of a down figure 8 as an up and around figure 8. We are trying to stay out of our neck here, and that's the reason for that. Wrap your ribs, draw your belly to your hip, draw your belly to your spine, draw your ribs to your hips. Let's do one more to each side. And one more. Good. Now, Articulate up. Extend your legs long. Place your weights on your shins. Working with ballet arms here. We're going to bring our arms to the hug a tree position, or the first position in the center. Inhale, exhale. Tuck my tail. My fingertips are coming out of my sternum. I'm going to roll down. My fingertips are still coming out of my sternum. When my head hits, my arms are going to come over my head, as long as I can do so without flaring my ribs. If I flare my ribs, I'm only going to come back as far as again until I flare, and then I'm going to bring my arms back up until I can flatten my 12th rib on the mat, in the back of the mat. Come up and around. Feel your legs extend away long from you. You have a nice hip flexor extension here with the added weight of the weights on your legs and your ankle weights. So come up. Inhale. Draw your ribs to your hips. Extend your legs long. See how long and flat you can extend without including your hip flexor with the extra weight. Now reach forward, reaching your biceps by your ears and hovering over your legs. Now pull back in this V-shaped curve, drawing your belly to your spine. When you can, bring your fingertips back, coming out of your sternum. Find the ceiling, extend your arms, circle them around, and back up, and then roll up. Inhale, drawing my belly to my spine. Reaching forward, 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 biceps by ears, arms in the hug a tree or first position. Drawing my belly to my spine, drawing my shoulders down my back. Pull back, 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 back. Articulate down. When you can find your sternum and 12th rib, find your fingertips in front of it. Reach up your head, your hands up and over your head. Circle around. Coming back to the hug a tree first position after you've done a nice arm circle. Inhale, letting your chin to your chest. Exhale forward, reaching over your legs. Inhale to pull back. Again, we have that egg under our chin. We're not going to crush it or lose it. And not up. Articulating up one vertebra at a time, as if we're pulling our spine off a piece of Velcro. Good. Reach your arms overhead. Wrap your ribs. We have two more. Reach it forward. Feel a nice articulation. We're really using the weight of our weights and our leg weights to work for us on this roll up. Circle your arms down by your side, reach them back up, feeling the connection of your ribs, drawing them together, reaching your legs long, stretching out your hip flexors. And pull back. Draw your belly to your spine. Reaching your legs long away from you. When your head is flat, circle your arms up and around. Sorry, my uprights were in my way. Inhale, exhale, curl back up, all the way up to sitting this time. Remove your weight. We are going to be doing a spine stretch style combo. We're going to flex our feet, separate our feet, hip width are a little wider. If you find that you cannot sit up on your sits bones, roll up a towel, place it underneath until you can sit up all the way, straight line from the tip top of your head up through your tailbone. Or if you have a wedge, place it underneath your tailbone until you can sit up all the way. We're going to reach our arms out in front of us, palms facing each other, wrapping our ribs. We're going to do a 2 count spine stretch, a 2 count saw. Inhale, creasing at our sternum, coming up into that curl up position but sitting down. We're going to reach through our legs, bringing our biceps up by our ears, and exhale to come back to the curl up position. Articulate back into sitting. Bring your arms out to a T, slightly in your periphery, press down, just like we talked about on the hug a tree, as if we're pressing down on a ball or a pole, really squeezing down under our arms. We're going to rotate to the left first and dive down, flipping our back palm when we start to dive to square off our shoulders, saw off our baby toe. Articulate back up, Still in the rotation, flip our palm down, come through center, rotate to the right. Again, just like we did in the figure eights, both of our hip bones stay firmly grounded the whole time. As we dive, we flip our back palm up, sign up for baby down, articulate back up, still in rotation, through center. Bring your hands to spine stretch, wrap your ribs. Inhale, articulate through curl up and reach. Exhale, come back through curl, articulate up, arms out to a T, rotate to the right, and dive. Articulate up, rotate through center, rotate to the left, and dive. Articulate up, through center, spine stretch. Coming through curl up first. Imagine you have the mat behind you. And inhale, reaching your biceps by your ears. And exhale, come back to curl. Articulate up, arms to a T, to the left, and dive. Inhale up, try to keep your legs as straight as possible. And exhale and dive. Coming up, through center. You might notice that I'm hinged slightly forward. That's so I can come out of my hip flexors a little bit more. Sometimes when we hinge back too far, and we put too much emphasis on our hip flexors there. If I hinge forward ever so slightly, I can really take a lot of the work out of there and put more in my core. So try that if you're able to. Inhale, coming through curl up. Reach in between your legs. Exhale, pull back and lift up. Arms to a T. To the right, soft. Dive down. Inhale up through center to the left. And through center. Good. From there, we're going to shake out our legs. Swing your legs around to the back. I'm going to come to lying down. I'm going to make my hands into a pillow. I'm going to rest my forehead on my hands. I'm going to wrap my ribs in the front. Draw my abdominals up and in. Squeeze my glutes, squeeze my inner thighs. I don't want to be tenting up in my hips, so if I squeeze my glutes, it's going to really stretch out the front of my legs. From there, I'm going to inhale. Exhale, squeeze my glutes and float my left leg up. Try not to rock over to your left hip to do that. And then inhale, exhale, float my right leg up. It is more difficult. It does put more emphasis on your left leg to do that without rocking from side to side. And no left leg. Just like we were talking about at the beginning of class, when I said that in the breathing exercise, to float one foot up off the mat to make it light, put a lot of work into the leg that was still on the mat. This is the same situation. And one more on the right leg. Wrap your ribs. Draw your shoulder blades down your back. Now, we are going to do both legs. We're going to inhale. Exhale, squeeze my glutes, lift. Don't allow your shoulders to pop up. Don't allow your ribs to pop up. This is just a lower body work. Belly up to spine. Good, and lower. Excellent. From there, we're going to bring our hands underneath our shoulders, placing our forehead on the mat, squeezing our biceps by our ribs, extending our legs long, still making them light by squeezing our glutes. Hopefully, with the exercise we just did, we will find more of a stretch in our hip, in our front hip area. So, we're using the load of our legs to keep our legs long. We're going to inhale, lifting our head first, pressing up, squeezing under our arms to keep our shoulders away from our ears. And wrap your ribs. If you feel your ribs catch on the mat or kickstand on the mat on the way down, really wrap your ribs tighter on the way up. It will decrease your lift in the front, but it will help you in the back so that you don't crease in your back too much. Inhale. Good. Final one. Squeezing underneath our arms, reaching up. Now again, on this next exercise, if you start to feel it too much in your quad or your hip flexors, please go ahead and remove your ankle weights. From there, I'm going to make my hands into pillow again for my forehead. Wrap my ribs, drop my abdominals up and in, squeeze my glutes. to open up the front of my hip flexors. I'm going to float my left leg up and flex my heel to my glutes and point my heel to my glutes and release. A modified single leg stretch. I'm going to float my right leg up without lifting my left hip and flex, pulse, point, pulse, and release. Left leg flex, point, release, abdominals up and in strongly. Right leg flex, point, release. If you feel your body shaking too much, squeeze more in your glutes and draw your abdominals up and in. Have the movement come from your glutes, not your hips or your quads. Left leg flex, point, release. Right leg flex, point, good, release. From there, we're going to do the double leg, a modified double leg kick. So just 3 pulses in towards your glutes and release. So the first thing we can do is make our legs light, squeeze them together. We're going to pulse for a 1 and a 2 and a 3. Release your legs long and then to the mat. Float your legs and pulse 1, 2, 3. Abs up and in, wrap your ribs and release your legs. Final one, float your legs up and pulse 1, 2, 3. Now release your legs long and then rest them onto the mat. From there, I'm going to place my hands back underneath my shoulders, squeezing my biceps into my ribs, just like I did for swan. I'm going to separate my feet slightly. I'm going to press myself up to quadruped pose. From there, I'm going to pull up, up, up into the angry cat, really pulling up in my low back, so I'm really feeling the stretch. Now maintaining the glute squeeze, so I'm tucking, I'm going to reach back, not losing my C-shaped curve, not moving my hand, so I really feel a strong stretch underneath my arms. Maintain this active stretch for just a moment, and now release back down into child's pose. Take a couple of nice deep breaths here. Take your left hand, thread it underneath your right arm. Try to reach your left ear down to the mat, your left shoulder down to the mat. Come back through center. Take your right arm, reach it underneath your left arm, threading it right under. Trying to lower your shoulder down to the mat. Good. Go ahead and take a couple deep breaths here. Come back through center. Begin to articulate up, walking your fingers up slowly. And come all the way up to sitting. Now, we are going to be doing some kneeling work here. If you find that the weights are bothering your ankles, go ahead and remove them. I find this is the case for myself personally, so I'm going to go ahead and remove my weights from here. We will put them back on for a couple exercises before the end of class. No big deal. For these exercises, I will move up on my weight to my 3-pound weights. So, what we're going to be doing are a couple of hinge lower lifts. You can do these in parallel, but I do find that you have a deeper inner thigh connection if you squeeze your heels together and separate your knees slightly. So, from the front, this would be parallel. If I bring my heels together and squeeze them together in the center, I find that I can really engage up through my inner thighs, squeeze my glutes a little tighter, and open up the front of my hip flexors. If this is not the case for you, feel free to not worry about doing this exercise with your heels squeezed. Go ahead and do it in parallel. From the side, I'm going to come down as sitting on my heels. If you find that you cannot sit on your heels, try placing a rolled up towel or a wedge right here between your calves and your knees and your glutes. You might not want to shove it up in there. You might want to pull it out a little bit so you can sit down. From there, I'm going to roll my shoulders up, back, and down, allowing the weights to pull down. Don't allow the weights to pull you forward. Try flipping your palms up and bending your elbows slightly. From there, I'm going to draw my abdominals up and in, wrap my ribs, maintaining a neutral spine. I'm going to squeeze my glutes before I even move. And I'm going to sit straight up, squeezing my glutes so that I can really open up my hip flexors so that my shoulders are stacked over my hips and my hips are stacked over my knees. Now, as if I have a pole or a string pulling up the tip top of my head, It's as if I have a straight line or a rod going through my tailbone, through my head. I'm going to just hinge at my hips and sit back onto my heels. And then I'm going to lift, squeezing my glutes and inner thighs. Here, I'm going to put these down real fast so you guys can see my movement a little bit easier. And I'm going to lower, down, 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 down. Sorry, I was trying to move my shirt. And I hinged for it a little bit too hard, right? Okay, from there I'm going to do it again. Squeeze and lift. I feel a strong inner thigh connection, a strong glute connection, wrapping my ribs, drawing my shoulders down, and lower. I'm going to hinge forward, grab my weights. And I'm going to lift. My palms are opening forward so I can drop my shoulders up, back, and down. Good. Now when we lift it this time, we're going to float our hands up to just where our sternum and 12th rib meet. And as we lower, we're going to lower our hands. And lift. Excellent job, guys. And lift. Woo. 2 more. Now, when we get up there again, we're going to stay up. We're going to bring our hands to hug a tree position. We're going to open and exhale to squeeze, wrapping our ribs. Again, my elbows are wide to the side. Good. Keep it going. Wrap your ribs, nice long neck. Shake it out if you need to. Squeezing in. Ooh, I was leaning back just a little bit, so I'm going to lean forward slightly so that my shoulders are stacked over my hips are stacked over my knees, and I feel a stronger connection through my hamstrings. I'm going to lower my hands, flip my palms to the back, but don't allow my shoulders to roll in. From there, I'm going to reach my fingers long down by the side, squeezing under my arms, press back. Now I'm going to look to the right and center, to the left, center, and release my hands down by my side. Squeeze under my arms, tricep press back. Look to the left, center, right, center, and release. Again, make sure that your shoulders are stacked over your hips are stacked over your knees, you're strongly squeezing your glutes. And now right. Now, if you can, make sure that you're not holding on to your weights for dear life. If you're squeezing too strong, if you feel it in your forearms, try to let the weights just rest in your fingers. Left, center, right, center, release. 1 more to each side. Roll your shoulders up, back, and down. Wrap your ribs. Stack your body. Reach back. And go right. Center, left, center, release. When we do this, reach back. We want to go left, center, right, center, release. We want to squeeze the bottom tips of our shoulder blades, not the upper ones, so we're in our shoulders. Now, for a nice little challenge, I said I didn't like to go over my head in this position, but we're going to do Hagga Moon. So rest the weights in your hands, squeeze it under your arms, wrap your ribs, exhale, and inhale to lift. Don't allow your ribs to flare. When you come up, really maintain the squeeze. Try to think of bringing your weights in front of your forehead a little bit. Not to here, but when they're up over your head, try to drop them in front of your head just a little bit. Good. Let's do 1 more. Now, lower your heels, your hips to your heels, back to your sit bones to your heels, real fast. We're going to squeeze up, and we're going to do 1 more in just a second. We're going to do arm circles. But before we do that, we're going to go ahead and place our weights on our shoulders to give our glutes and hamstrings a nice little break. Without moving our sits bones off of our heels, we're going to rotate to the right and center, to the left and center. No shifting. in your sits bones. The rotation is coming from your ribs, reaching across. Perhaps this isn't the sort of twist rotation that you're used to. Perhaps you're used to swinging your arms around, using the momentum. This is a true twist. Really use your obliques to wring it out. Good. Rest your arms down. Inhale, exhale. Last lift up. Squeezing your inner thighs, stacking your shoulders over your hips over your knees. Bring your hands up to your sternum. Open to a T and lower. So we're really going to add the movements together. Open up and lower. We've done all of these movements separately so far. Now we're going to add them all together. Final one. Don't bring your arms in the center so you're rounding in your shoulders. Make sure the shoulders are nice and wide. Squeezing the bottom tips like we worked on in chest expansion. Open, bring it into the center. Don't go like this. Don't allow bringing the weights forward to move your body back. Maintain the stack. Good. Pressing your shins into the mat. Good. Now, hinge back, 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 back. Straight line. Tips out of your head. Out through your tailbone. Really good job. We're going to go into a bird dog position. If you have wrist problems, please feel free to do what you can on your forearms, or you can use your balls, or you can do it on your fists. I will demonstrate doing it on the balls or your weights, so you can put your weights down, you would hold on to them so that your wrists aren't breaking. You'd line your wrists up right over your hand and your knuckles in a straight line. So, I'm going to come down into the quadruped position. I'm going to extend my left leg and pull it back. When I do this, I'm pulling my shoulder blades wide apart, wrapping my ribs. Good. And pull it back. Now, we're going to take our right hand off. I'm sorry. And extend my right and my left and pull back. And extend my right and my left. This does add difficulty on because it is a little bit more wobbly. Now, reach your right and your left hand up. Don't allow your low back to come to lift your leg higher. Draw your abdominals up and in. Stretch out through that hip flexor. Try to bring your bicep up by your ear. Press your shin into the mat of your standing leg. Now, we're going to lower hand and leg and lift. This is just for 5. Looking straight down at the mat. Squeeze underneath your arm on your left arm to really maintain the body position. Woo, excuse me. I'm going to bring my left leg and my right arm away from the midline and squeeze them back together. Try not to wag your tail to do this. Try just to move the hip in the socket. Now drop your hip as well in case it raises like mine just did. 4 and 5. Now, 5 small circles in each direction with your hand and your leg. 2, 3, 4, 5. Wrap your ribs and 5, 4, 3. 2, 1. Now lower. I guess that my balance was not there today. I'm going to locate my weights under each hand. I'm going to walk my feet back to a plank. I'm going to hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to do a side plank to the left. I'm going to take my right hand, bring it to the center. I'm going to rotate so that my feet are in tandem. My left foot is in front. My right foot is behind. I am standing on the sides of my feet. I'm going to extend my arm up. I'm not sinking, I'm lifting. From there, I'm going to bring my right knee down with control. I'm going to float my left leg up. I'm in a side kick position. I'm going to wrap my ribs, draw my abdominals up and in. I'm going to lower my foot and squeeze it up my outer glutes. Again, we're only doing 5 here. Reach your arm up in a star position. If you're able to, behind your head is fine. On your waist is fine as well. Now from there, we're going to bring it forward and squeeze it back. When you bring it forward, don't pop your hips back. You're just moving your leg in the joint again, like we were talking about earlier. Good. Now, bring it back to center. 5 circles in each direction. 5 and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring your foot down on the side position, side start position again. Now from there, we're going to extend our bottom leg out, holding our star. We're going to come back through center, bring our right arm back out to the plank position. We're going to hold the plank for a moment. Lower one leg, lower the other leg, just in time for bird dog on the other leg. I'm going to remove my left ball off to the side for just a moment. Extend my right leg, pull it back under. I'm maintaining the quadruped position, even though I'm moving my leg away from my body. Now I'm going to add my left arm, if I'm able to, with my right leg. Extend and pull. Both my toe and my fingers are so lightly resting on the mat to help me align my body right now. One more, stay in there. Now I'm going to lift. Draw my abdominals up and in, square my hips, bicep behind my ear, and lower and lift. 2. I hope this is my side for balance this time. 4 and 5. And now move arm and leg away from the midline and back. Don't wag the tail. Just move your leg through your hip joint rather than your body. One more. 5 small circles in each direction. Arm and leg. 2, 3, 4, 5 and 5. 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Coming down, we're going to find that ball again. We're going to press out to a plank and do the same series on the other side. So, bring one leg back and the other leg. Hold that plank. Good. Abs up and in. Shoulders nice and wide and flat. I'm going to take my left hand, walk it in towards the center. Rotate my body to the right. My right foot's in front. My feet are tandem, so heel to toe. Reaching my arm up into a star. Wrapping my ribs from my abdominals up and in. From there, I'm going to take my left leg, bring it down onto the mat, right underneath my hip. I'm going to have my shoulder over my wrist for side legs. Lift my leg up, and I'm going to lower and lift for 5. Again, arm in start position, head in your hand on your hip. All acceptable. Keeping it up at the top, squeeze my glutes, and bring it forward, and squeeze it back. Don't allow your back to move. You're swinging it forward, hinging at the hip, and squeezing your glute to pull it back. 4, almost there, guys. 5, bring it back to center. 5 small circles in each direction. 4, 5, and reverse. Press your shin into the mat. 3, 4, 5. Bring your foot down. Flexing your foot so you can stand into the side. Extend your left foot behind in tandem again. Try to keep your shoulder over your wrist. Come back in a plank in the center. Moving your left hand further out. My feet are separated in this plank, guys. From there, I'm going to drop just my knees. I'm not going to come down into the quadruped position. I'm going to stay in this position where my knees are further back from underneath my hips, and my shoulders are right under my wrists. So I am going to be doing push-ups on my knees. So I'm going to bend my elbows and straighten. Squeezing under my arms. There's 4 and 5. Now extend my left leg and lift, squeeze my glutes to lift it up. Now I'm going to do one-legged push-up. 1, 2, abs up and in. 3, square your hips. Your biceps should graze your ribs as you go down and up. Replace your foot. Press the right leg back. Squeeze your glutes, lift. Square your hips. Draw your abdominals up and in. Wrap your ribs. And lower and lift. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5. Good. a child's pose. It's a challenging series. Now articulate up, 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 up. I'm going to come back into the center, kneeling if I'm able to, sitting on my heels if that's more comfortable. But we are going to be doing a nice side bend. So I'm going to squeeze my glutes, squeeze my heels and inner thighs. I do have my heels squeezed together. Again, if you prefer parallel, that's your decision. T position with my arms, pressing down. I'm going to reach for the wall and the ceiling knee to the right, pressing into my right thigh. So I'm not collapsing into my right side. I'm stretching out on both sides. I have equal weight in my knees. Up through the center, wrap your ribs. Don't allow them to flare. Don't rock forward, don't rotate back. It's a true side bend. And up, and side bend. And reach, and lift. Nice flowing side bend. Nice movement. After working in such a parallel quadruped regimented position. Good. And back. Come to sitting down. We are going to be doing tree. Now, tree on the mat is difficult under the best of circumstances, but we will be doing it with the weights on our ankles, which will give us some assistance down and up with our leg in the air. So we're going to find our ankle weights one more time. We're going to begin with our legs extended in front of us. Draw your right leg up and into your chest. If you have to lean back, only come in as far as you can with sitting straight up. Now extend your leg and bend at the knee. Extend at the knee and bend at the knee. One more, leave it extended. And now with the articulation that we worked on in footwork, pull your toes back, pull your foot back. Extend your foot, now point your toes. We're going to do that 3 times. Good. And now 3 ankle circles. And now ankle circles the other way. And now walk your hands up your leg wherever is comfortable and pull your leg towards your nose by widening your elbows. Now, tuck your tail just like and roll it. The only difference is that now we're holding our leg, right? Press your leg away from you to assist in that articulation down as you walk your hand down your leg with light fingers. Now, same arms as we had in roll-up. Extend them over your head and ballet arms. Circle them down around to the side. Hold on to the back of your leg as you come up. Inhale, nodding your chin, your chest. Walk your fingers up your leg with light fingers. And come up to sitting. Tuck your tail, reaching your leg away from you. The load on your leg will assist you. Really reach in through your lower abdominals so that you can really control your leg, not with your hip flexor or your quad. Tuck your tail, nod your chin to your chest, and articulate up. On this next one, we're going to do single leg circles, 3 in each direction. Very small because we have the leg weight. Sit up tall. Tuck your tail, drawing your ribs to your hips. Good. Arms up, arms around, reaching down by your side. Inhale your leg across your body. Again, we're working on keeping a nice flat sacrum, just like at the beginning of class. I really feel a strong connection to my opposite side obliques here as I do this exercise. And now reverse. Inhale away from your body. If you're swinging your leg, slow it down and try to make it come from your lower abdominals like we did on the double leg lower lifter scissors. Begin to articulate up, reaching your leg long on the mat. Now, sitting straight up, can you release your arms to the wide hugga tree and lower your leg down with control? Very nice, guys. Sitting straight up nice and tall. Draw your left foot in and extend from the knee and bend from the knee. We're doing this 3 times. 3 is the magic number on tree. And now articulate through your foot, toes, foot, toes, toes, foot, toes. Last one. Squeeze under your arms, nice long neck. 3 ankle circles in each direction. Whew. Extending your leg on the mat, nice and long away from you. Walk your hands up your leg where you can. Now widen your elbows to pull. 1 and a 2. Nice straight leg into 3. Tuck your tail. Stretch your leg away from you so the load can help you articulate down. Nice light fingers with control. Circle your arms up over your head, leg and roll up. Don't allow your ribs to flare. This is my harder leg for me on tree, I'm not gonna lie. The weight of the ankle weight definitely helps. Now, wherever you can go without flaring your ribs, right? Ooh, I hope I can make it up on the 3rd one. Inhale. Exhale. Articulate down. Circle your arms up, around, platform them by your sides. Inhale your leg across the body, and up. Don't allow that back hip to pop up. Oh man. Opposite direction, inhale, and exhale. Now, walk your hands up the back of your leg, articulating up a little bit, a little bit, a little bit. Find that nice stretch at the top. Sit up nice and tall. Release your leg to hug a tree arms. Float your legs down. Arms up to the ceiling. Hinge forward over your legs and around over. Good. And now we're going to articulate up. Up, scooch forward towards your heels. Inhale, exhale, articulate back. We're going to bring our feet up to tabletop. We are going to be doing teaser here, so if you feel like the ankle weights are too much on your hip flexors and your quads, try to come into a frog first. If that doesn't work, take the ankle weights off. If that's still not working, please find a stretch that you enjoy. Okay, so we're going to reach our fingertips up out of our sternum. Inhale, exhale to articulate up. Coming into a nice teaser position. Extend your legs from there if you're able to. Pull them back in. Really wrap your ribs. Maintain a nice lower abdominal connection. Tuck your tail first. Using the weight of the ankle weights to help you find the articulation up, the lower abdominal connection, and the articulation down. Don't swing your arms up, just like we did earlier with the first position arms. Coming out of our sternum roll, try to keep them there as long as you can. And now extend. Sitting up nice and tall, guys. Draw them back into tabletop, squeezing our legs. Now tuck your tail. You're in control, right? And lower down. No swinging arms. Final one. Last one, best one. So my trainer, Katie Rowley, says. Inhale. Oh my gosh. There we go. And extend. Pull it back in. Tuck your tail. And lower. Now extend your legs up to the ceiling, wherever you're able to. Don't tuck your tail because then you're just stretching your glutes and your back. Really anchor your sacrum down into the mat and pull your legs in from there. Don't allow the tuck to happen. Leave them down. Really find that hamstring stretch. Drag your shoulder blades into the mat. Widen your elbows to the side to increase your stretch. Now turn your feet out to Pilates feet. Open them wide. Place your hands gently on the insides of your thighs to increase the stretch. No tucking. Flex your feet if you like to. I think that feels nice. It's your stretch. Bring them back up to the center. Bend your knees into a frog. Place the palms of your feet together like they're hands praying. Hold on to your ankles and pull your heels into your glutes, but leaving your sacrum flat on the mat. This is our final stretch. From there, we're going to hold on behind our knees. Articulate up to sitting. We're going to take one more deep inhale. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you have any questions about class, please feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I'm so honored that you stayed with me today and did the whole class, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you.